questions of the week. We could do a whole segment on demystifying leases, commercial leases.
Yeah. We love to confuse
Yeah.
people and just add weird words in
And
for no reason.
Yeah.
It's great.
So this one comes to us from a viewer, which is tenant allowances.
Mm-hmm.
What are they and why do they matter?
Yeah, good question. All right, so tenant allowance, summarize it very quickly so people understand. So tenant allowance is a monetary, it's giving money to your tenant. Okay, let's simplify it. So giving money to your tenant.
Got it.
It is an allowance for the tenant to renovate the unit and complete leasehold improvements. Okay, so that's the definition.
Like it?
Why do we do that? What is it? How does it work? So tenant allowance, it usually happens when you're negotiating a lease or renewing a lease, renegotiating a lease, whatever it may be. So for example, I'm just doing a lease right now where we've actually included a tenant allowance. So my tenant is going to be taking the space. I'm repping the tenant, not the landlord. So my tenant is going to be taking a space. It's a 10-year lease, so a nice long lease, but the space needs a ton of work, right? It's the perfect location. The layout's good, but it needs new ceiling tiles, lighting, flooring, paint, patchwork, hardware on the doors, new doors in that fact.
Yeah, it's like a full reno.
It's almost a full reno other than just not removing walls. But anyway, so it's good. The reno in entirety is probably going to be around $90,000 for these tenants to move in.
Got it.
And so when negotiating with the landlord, like that is not, my tenant should not be responsible to take the full cost of that, right?
And that would be because the landlord is going to get their unit improved.
Yeah, right. We're improving the landlord's unit, whether we move out in 10 years or not, it's still their property we're improving.
Got it.
So what we've asked for is we've gone back and we said, listen, we want a tenant allowance. We're looking for $20 a square foot. So essentially we're asking for, so $20 times the square footage is going to be our allowance.
Got it.
And so in this case, it was $30,000. So my tenant is going to go in, they're going to complete the work, get the permits, do the work, finish it. They're going to submit to the landlord all of the receipts for the cost up to $30,000, and then the landlord is going to cut a check for the tenant.
Interesting.
Right? As a landlord, why is this important? Well, so in my theory, there's 2 or 3 ways to get a deal done with a tenant, right? It's you can give free rent, which is essentially you're not collecting rent on that unit for X amount of time because they are improving the unit. You can do the work yourself. So no free rent, but you're going in and swinging the hammer, right? So you're fixing the unit up. The tenant turns the key, moves in. And then the third option is the tenant allowance, which is you give money to the tenant for them to go do work. The first one's good. I really do like free rent because it really takes responsibility off of the landlord. Right? It's you guys do whatever you want. I'll give you your free rent. I don't have to put time or money into the space. This one works for a lot of the time when we're talking smaller mixed use stuff, for example, right? I'm a small landlord. I own this building. I don't have 30 grand sitting in my account to cut you a check, right? Yeah. And I don't have the team to go in and do the renos, and I don't want to pay for that. So I'd rather just say, hey, normally I'd give you 1 month free rent so you can move your stuff in. I'm actually going to give you 6 months free rent.
And you just do the renos.
What is that in a cost structure? So you can break it down for the tenant and say, listen, that 6 months should have been $30,000 of rent to me. Instead, you take it, you spend the 30 on the unit. You're paying it either way.
Yeah.
You're either paying me or you're paying to get your unit fixed. So that's usually how I like to get deals done. That way there's no confusion. The doing the work as a landlord is a good option if you are a very big landlord, right? You have the team, you're doing renos, because you can probably do those renos cheaper, which is going to save you more money because now you don't need to give the 6 months free rent. Like let's say it's 30 grand for the tenant to do it. It's 20 grand for you to do it. Right. So you're actually saving money rather than giving the free rent.
And that's what you find the larger guys do?
That's usually what the larger guys will do, or they'll do the tenant allowance.
Got it.
Right? The challenge with doing the work yourself is once you're complete and ready to go, what if it's not up to the tenant standards?
That's always the problem. Even on a resale, like
Yeah.
you just like, man, you'd rather take a concession on price.
Well, that's it, right? Like, so I try to avoid that, and it confuses and it complicates things because it's now who's picking the flooring. So I got to pick the flooring and provide 3 samples to the tenant,
It's a lot
and then
of
they pick the color. But what if they pick the expensive paint, not the cheap paint?
Right.
And then now it's more for me to do. And so there's a lot of complications that come into that. So again, if it's a big landlord that's got the team, maybe they're a construction company that owns some property, then obviously it makes sense for them to do it, and we'll go down that route. And then lastly is that tenant allowance. Again, this is another good option for smaller, mid-sized, large landlords. It's, hey, I don't have the time, the patience, or the know-how to do this. I want my rent starting day one because it's cash flow for me and it's important. And I'll find a way to get you that tenant allowance. That could even be a line of credit, right? So within a tenant allowance as a landlord, you can actually amortize that. So you can say, hey, I'll give you the allowance, but there's actually an interest rate on that allowance. And you're going to, I need to get that back in rent over the next 5 years, but there's going to be a management fee of 5% on that allowance or whatever the heck it may be.
Yeah.
And you can take it from a line of credit, pay that line of credit back, whatever it may be. So not to get too much into the weeds, those are really the 3 major tenant inducements or tenant, benefits that landlords can offer. If anybody has space that they're looking for and they want to talk about this, give us a shout.
And so just real quick, usually it would be 1 and 3 in those scenarios, but if it's that sort of lump sum payment, those people would be more concerned with getting the cash flow and not muting their cash flow for a period of time. Is that why they would do it?
Yeah, like if you're a larger company, you're cash heavy, you have funds in the account.
Just cut the check and they start
cut the
right
check.
away.
They start paying right away, right? You don't have to worry about 6 months free rent. There's also a combination of all 3, right? Like this is contract law. There's no specific way to do it.
The beauty of commercial leases. It's what you agree to.
Listen, I'll install the floor and I'll give you 3 months rent and you do the rest.
Right.
Right. I'll give you 10 grand instead of 30 grand and then 3 months free rent, whatever it is. So there's combinations of all of this. And it's really just sitting down with the tenant and finding out what their motivation is. Same with the landlord. Right. And then we go from there. So
yeah, that was really good.
Yeah,
very
so hopefully that made sense.
Yeah, and we seem to people are very interested in the discussions around commercial leasing. So
Are they?
I think I think we need to do more of these. It seems like those are what people love.
Sometimes I just feel like I'm just rambling on here.
Well, we always ramble, but it's good. People like it, so I know I do too. So we appreciate it. Thanks, Jake.
Awesome. Thanks for sticking around, guys. See you next week.